there's no real musician in my family in general. Actually, nobody plays instrument besides my close family. But my father plays guitar since I'm little, and he learned by himself as autodidact because he wanted to. He always wanted to learn an instrument, but his parents didn't have enough money when he was young to send them to the conservatorium. So he learned by himself, and then when he got kids, he said, okay, all my kids, they are going to study music because it's amazing. I wanted to play the pan flute, but they explained to me that I couldn't learn the pan flute at the school, the municipal school, because they were not teaching this instrument. So I was thinking, okay, I still want to do a flute. So they brought me to the class concerts for the different types of flute, and I chose the transversal flute, traverso. Now we rehearse the Mermaid by Zemlinsky, and in the afternoon we are going to play a piano concerto by Brahms. So I come here to pick up the score in advance in general, and I practice at home. I listen to recordings to know a bit how does it sound, if there are recordings, of course. It felt really natural. For me, it was just a smaller flute that sounds louder. The flute is always, the problem of the instrument is that if you're inside a big crowd, you want to be heard, and if you're not on the top register of the flute, nobody hears you. But then when you play the piccolo, everybody always hears you, so I was happy because I could stick out. I find it funny because when I was in high school, I was also with a lot of musicians and nobody was sportive at all. When I got to the professional world, that in an orchestra, there are almost no musicians who don't exercise because you need to have a good conditions first. I go to sport at least twice a week, and it's both for stress releasing and for to have a good breath and all these things. And now I dance also, or swimming. And I do badminton sometimes. I don't know, I like to change. I'm not obsessed with anything. I always say, okay, I live in another country, you know, you have to be part of this country. So I learned to speak Dutch, and I started working in this farm close to our place, uit je eigen staat a bit, because I wanted to meet people and to speak and to get to speak Dutch on a more regular basis. But it's still difficult to merge in the crowd. I was already playing a lot the piccolo at that time, and a few months after I started playing in the orchestra, the piccolo player of the orchestra retired. So they needed a lot of extra players because they took about 2 years to open the audition. So they needed for 2 years extra players all the time. So I got to play quite a lot because I play a lot of piccolo and they liked it, so they kept inviting me. That's the best 2D job for a musician. I mean, you can't hope better than this, actually, you know, like, yeah, I never had to work in Albertine or something like this, you know. I did my master about this actually. I had to write a thesis and I wrote a piccolo method. There's not so much written about the subject, and I find that there's no method that's really good for these students to get them to start from zero on the piccolo. For example, it's really nice to practice with earplugs, and it's not bad. It's like a lot of students are a bit afraid that their sound is going to go bad and all these things, but actually it's protecting you and it makes you relax, so it helps you playing better. When you start playing the piccolo, you shouldn't try to correct every single note that's out of tune, but first to have a beautiful sound, and it will already correct a lot of the intonation just by having a beautiful sound all the time instead of changing with every note, all these things.